So we are checking out another interview of Yash at CinemaCon with Collider this time, and they do really good interviews. So I thought let's check this one out. I reacted to some other interviews also where he talked about Ramayana and Toxic. If you haven't seen, definitely check them out. And if there's some any other interviews where something specific was talked about and I should check it out, let me know in the comments. Now, if you haven't seen the original interview, I'll put the link description. You can check it out there. This is a reaction or substitute. I'll be pausing, talking, sharing my thought in the middle. And without any delay, let's hear him out.
So I like to run some fun questions before I get into.
That's I've learned that is a Ramayana costume for Yash. So looks pretty detailed, looks good. Of course, him wearing it will be much better.
Why we're actually talking. And the first is probably the most important. Have you ever asked for someone's autograph?
Oh yes,
Oh,
of course. As a
okay.
kid, I've gone and I
That's what he asked to Ranbir also, right?
come from a place called Karnataka in India. So we speak language Kannada language. So in Kannada industry, there are many great actors. So whenever I used to see them shooting, I used to go and I used to take autographs.
So I am curious. First of all, I love hearing that. But I am curious, as someone who grew up loving movies and wanting to get autographs from like the stars that you loved, how has that impacted you? You're
Like he has a great answer because I know recently, like after KGF, he did a session with Anupama Chopra, and there were 300 people who came there. And after the event, he stayed there and autographed and met and took pictures with all the 300 people one by one. In line, everyone stood, and one by one they came to him. They took a picture and left. He stood there till the last person got it, and then he left. So that tells you everything.
impacted you when you meet fans who are little kids or adults that are huge fans. What is that like, for you?
You know, I remember one incident as you asked this question. I think I can remember one incident where I asked for an autograph from an actor, and that person was, I don't know in what mood he was. He was a little rude. Then I stopped watching his film. I didn't ever look at him or his pictures. So what that tells me is, no matter as an actor what mood you are in, how your state of mind is, but when somebody comes to you, fan, I try and be nice as much as possible.
That is so true because that's the last impression that person left on him, right? And I had a similar incident, not autograph thing, but I met a celebrity. I'll not say the name, and the interaction was so weird that it left a really bad taste in him. Like I was like, what the like? Why was this like this? Like why did it happen like this? Like I was really wondering. So since then, like I kind of whenever that person had come on in front of me, I was like not interested at all. Like I'm not someone who has gone. So I went to film school, right? And my film school was right in the center of Mumbai Film City. So we were surrounded by celebrities. So what we were taught there was don't do this thing, running to them, taking selfies and all these things. Like you're professionals, later you want to work with them, so don't do that. So since then, whenever a celebrity, I never take a selfie, I never do that until I personally meet them and have spend some time and all. Then I feel familiar, and then I feel okay, this is okay to ask for a selfie or a picture. But other than that, if it's just an interaction or just I saw someone, I'll not run to them. I'll stay in my own space from far. If they look, I'll just say hi or something. But I don't like to get into the way of I want a picture, or I'll be in the same frame, or someone will take a picture, autograph, nothing. I don't do that. So I know that's something kind of developed in me from where I have still not sure, because I know some people. It's not that every person in that college doesn't do that. There were people with me who still did that. So it's not that everyone from the college doesn't follow, doesn't do that. But it's, I think, a personal thing for each person.
I try to be the best version and sweet and kind, because I don't think they will get an opportunity to meet us. Sometimes it might take some years, or sometimes they may not. But how they will remember us is the way we would have behaved that particular day when they have seen us. So I always remember to be as nice as possible because of my personal experience.
So I love seeing movies in movie theaters. Your upcoming film is going to be in theaters and IMAX. I am curious, do you have a favorite movie theater?
I mean, you're talking about where I used to.
Where you like to personally watch movies. You don't have to say it if it's close to your house. You know what I mean? Is there a theater that you just love?
No, we have a concept in India where it's standalone theaters. We call it single screen theaters. So in Bangalore, there is an area called Majestic. So you just go there and you enjoy, like, there's a different way we consume cinema.
We
People
know.
turn the cinema into stadium.
So is Majestic close to his house? I wonder, once you get that popular, you cannot do that. I think recently a picture came out. Sandeep Reddy Vanga and Prabhas were like not even sitting; they were standing at the back of the theater. I think it was the Allu Arjun theater recently, which got opened up, and they're watching Dhurandhar there. I don't know if the crowd was there or it was an empty thing, and they personally booked it for them. Not sure from that picture, but that's how they consume it, right? They cannot go first day or first weekend, hide in. Someone will find out, and it'll be a chaos. So that cannot happen. So I guess that is a shortcoming of becoming too famous.
There. So they throw coins, they dance, they get onto the screen. The area where screen is there will be some place where people can stand. They jump onto that and they start dancing, singing, and it's a different atmosphere there. So I love to watch films with the crowd.
I attended a very special screening of RRR at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood, and it was my first experience of watching the entire, like half the audience went to the front of the screen, was dancing.
Yeah,
That was special, man.
Incredible.
That's exactly the
That's literally Hollywood experience, or it's like a 1% of what it's like to watch movies, especially in South India.
way we consume cinema, and cinema is a very integral part of our culture. So we just celebrate each and everything in cinema.
So, jumping into why I get to talk to you, a lot of people in America are not familiar with the movie yet or with the story, which is so important to so many people. What can you tell people in America about what it's about and why you wanted to be a part of it?
See, this is a story which has stayed for 5,000 years. And it's part of our culture, it's our history. So when a country is so close to the story or so close to the people, it means something because it stayed for so long. It really has that significance. What I want to tell the Western audience is it could be our story, but I think it's story about humanity. It's story about how a person in any situation, how he has to conduct himself, how gracefully. It's about Lord Rama. So Rama is an avatar of Vishnu, God himself. He comes to earth to put an end to Ravana, who's got so much power, which is the character I'm playing. The point here is everybody goes through so much of problems and troubles in life, and as humans we have so many issues with smallest things. But if you see Rama's life, Lord Rama faced unbelievable problems in his life. After being born to a privileged family, he will be born into a royal family, but he starts losing everything. But he takes all of it gracefully, and the way he lived his life has become an example. So I think it will connect.
I never thought actually of that in that sense, the way he put it, that he literally was okay. He was born in a royal family, he's the king, next king, and then it just goes downhill from there, right? In a sense that he has to leave the kingdom, he has to go on a vanvas, then his wife is kidnapped. Like he goes through all the troubles, and it is the conduct that even after going through all this, he follows dharma, he follows calmness in himself. He doesn't let the rage take over. He doesn't he's not doing anything for revenge. So that's the perspective. I never thought about Ramayana in that sense.
Every individual, it's a global emotion. I think they will experience it. It will really help them to understand life in a very deeper manner.
One of the things about this is it's a two-part movie, and I believe you're still filming part two.
Yeah.
What is it like to make something that is filming for so long? And as an actor, you need to, people don't realize it's a marathon.
Yeah.
It's a long shoot. And so what is it like as an actor making something over this kind of a time period?
It's very demanding. And I think, especially films.
He has already done it with KGF. Not the same thing, but he has spent too many years working on the same character, same films. Even if it's part two, like almost, I think they spent 4 or 5 years making both the part. So that is one thing. And even Toxic, that's taken so long into shoot. And then Rama, like every film since KGF has been that, difficult for him.
Like this where technology is involved, so there is a lot of rehearsals, or you do a lot of test shoots and look, costume. It takes a lot of time for hair and makeup, so it's actually very demanding for every actor, but at the same time it's also fascinating. If you love what you do, I think you enjoy it, because you don't get to do anywhere else in life. Only if you become an actor you get all these chances. Since I love this profession, like they say, you start loving things which needs to be done. So I take it like that. So I enjoy the process.
Do you think Ravana is purely evil, or is he like a complex character?
Do I think, or Ravana thinks?
No. What? And then you can answer it. What does Ravana think?
See, I don't look at anything like black and white. I try to see a bad quality in a good person and understand, okay, what is this is so good, but what is going wrong in this place? Or maybe there was some loophole there. I just try and see, because I'm an actor, so I want to understand emotions, human emotions, in a more deeper way if I have to project it. And when I see Ravana, when he's having so much of bad qualities, of course I see him doing so many bad things, that is bad. But I also try to see what are the good qualities he had. And that's also the way India has seen. Though Ravana is hated so much, there are certain things which people have always appreciated. They've praised the qualities of him. So that's a very interesting aspect.
Yes.
Of course, I don't accept or see whatever he did is good, but there are many good qualities. So I see it in both ways.
Yeah, also, the truth is, if you have a character that's very black and white, there's nothing to that character.
Yeah, there's never like that. See, I've never seen anybody, because from their perspective, they're always right.
Of course.
Yeah.
And there will be a reason, a strong, valid reason in their head, thinking that's the best thing to do. But sometimes when you're driven by ego or a vengeance in your heart, and you go to such an extent that you yourself cross the line, I think that's what I should say. Yes, cross the line in many ways.
I'm going to read this one. The Ramayana has been told for thousands of years. What visual or narrative element do you think has never been captured?
That's a weird mic, I have to say. Like you usually put the big mic in it so that it makes sense scale wise, proportions wise, and that's like that thing is their bike has reduced to so small in the top of it, and there's no mic to hold. He's actually holding the card where the name of Collide is written.
Directly by
Interesting.
Cinema.
I don't think there's a correct way to capture it. Like any stories, this beauty about this is there are many interpretations. We are following the OG version of it, but the point here is art itself has to be seen in a way that it should have many interpretations. So there are many people who have done this. I feel whatever they have done, to best of their knowledge, they've tried to present it. What probably I can mention that maybe they couldn't do it at that point in time because the technology was not available. So to show the visual spectacles, what we can afford to show with the help of technology today, because there are a lot of action sequences which is very, very larger than life, and there are some creatures. There are many.
I've seen some of the footage.
Yeah,
It looks incredible.
Yeah, so those things probably they couldn't with their limited. See, like Pushpaka Vimana, how we are trying to. Pushpaka Vimana is a flight, so he has a flight which is in a lotus shape. So to show that, because it exists in the story that he had a flight. I think
amazing.
Nobody even knew that flight existed, but in the story it had. That's the power of story. So when you're showing that today, the way we can show that is entirely different, and we are empowered with technology. So thanks to DNEG, the kind of visuals they are creating, that is something I would say in our interpretation people will find it more exciting.
When playing a character from such a sacred text, do you feel different kind of pressure compared to the original fictional roles like Rocky or KGF?
Definitely. See, there is no limitation. When I'm Rocky, I think I can just do whatever I want. And in totality it will form a character which people will understand, and they will see, okay, this is who he is. But when you're playing a historic role, or when you're playing somebody where everybody knows, or there have been many versions of it, then naturally they will draw comparisons, and also they will have fixed notions about how this character should look, this character should speak, or this character should behave. So I think that's very challenging, but at the same time it's very exciting when you're able to bring your own version and present it in a way where people appreciate it or love it. They get to see a different version of it. That's exciting. It's like mixed feeling, I can say. I'll have excitement also, a little bit of pressure also.
I am
That's good, because whatever you do, even Rocky, why he does anything, right? He's creating the legacy of Rocky. Whereas in Ramayana, he has to carry the legacy of that character, and of course there will be pressure, but you have to still go through it, right? You have to put in your creative touches to enhance it with whatever you can, with your capability.
so curious. What were the days leading up to that first day of filming in terms of coming up with the voice, the physicality of the character, and deciding ultimately like your portrayal, and how much did it change once you started collaborating with your director and once you started wearing the costumes and feeling the character?
That's a very good question. That's how I always prepare myself, and that's the way to it. So you need to first. I spend a lot of time with my directors. I always trouble my directors before shooting. I just ask all possible questions, because I believe it's important for you to understand their vision. So I always try and ask many questions, and try to figure out what he's trying to do. So Nitesh sir, our director of the film, I think he was very patient. I went on asking so many questions to understand, and then yes, the next stage is you get into the looks, you get into the costumes, and like you said, voice is a very important aspect of any performance. So I was
Okay.
trying to find, okay, how would
I wonder, like, if there'll be like more modulation or heavy voice for this character.
he speak, because it's very difficult to imagine a character which existed thousands of years ago and which has so many interpretations. Some actors have done it already. There is a significant memory of the laugh of a character, how an actor presented that character in the past. I have loved it, I have watched it. So now what can I bring in, how different it can be? And I have tried it to make it more human also, and the voice, the body language, because I've never worn such costumes, so it was very challenging in my head. And the way he has to look, how he has to walk, each and everything was very, very different experience for me, because I've never done anything like this before. So it was an wonderful experience, I must say.
Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble, but is there any chance you want to demonstrate any part of the voice?
No,
I
don't.
think. I think it only comes in front of camera for me.
I'm just messing with you. You know what I mean? You've often spoken about the strength of the Indian roots. How much of Ramayana do you feel is embedded in the DNA of Indian storytelling?
I think as a kid, we all listen to some stories. Our parents will tell you some stories. I think it forms our belief system. Knowingly or unknowingly, who we are is what we believe, or what we see, what we read, what we hear. So that's why they say you need to surround yourself with a right kind of atmosphere, right kind of people, or read the things which really enhances your belief system. This is such a story where every kid has
That's true.
in India or subcontinent have heard about. So we have our own.
I think it's not even about religion or anything. Like in India, you are surrounded by references of Ramayana, the stories. Like there's small bits in your life. There'll be something about Ramayana, about Lanka, about Hanuman, about everything. Like there's something or the other. It's part of kind of a pop culture, part of our lifestyle.
Imagination. So I think it's very, very important.
I know that I think I don't know how much longer you're filming for a little while. Have you already started thinking about like what you want to do next, or is it sort of like after this you actually do want to take a break?
It's more like I just want to take a break. I've been working constantly on 2 films. Although it looks like I've taken a long break, people are upset with me because my last release was in 2022 after that. But the kind of vision or kind of path we have chosen. It requires that kind of
Time.
time and involvement, and it's very difficult. We are trying to position our films in global platforms, so it has its own process, it has its own problems, and it's something which takes time. So I've been working, though it looks like I've not been on screen for a while, but I'm constantly working. I've not taken a break at all. Somehow I'm managing family time. All of us are finding time. So maybe I would want to spend some quality time with my family, so I'll probably take a break, a little small break, and then get back to. I'm definitely not thinking what's next, for sure.
Sure. My last
Okay.
thing for you. I believe your film Toxic, A Fairy Tale for Grown-Ups, is coming out in June.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, June.
Not anymore. Not anymore. I don't know what is going on, but they have delayed it. They said that because they want to take it global, there are more things, as he said, they requires more time. If you want to take that on face value, okay, but there are conspiracy theories also that things are not right and they want to spend more on the visuals and everything, and maybe that's why the delay. But he has said that it's because of they want to take it global, so it will take more time. So that's what I'm sticking to.
So, what do you want to tell people about that film, especially like American audiences?
Oh, that's something which is entirely different from Ramayana. So that's a crazy, wild film which addresses raw emotions in a very cinematic manner, and a cinematic language which West can easily understand and digest. Because see, we were trying to find a blend which it looks familiar for the Western audience. At the same time, it is refreshing and it has got some originality, comes from another region. So I think it's pretty much the same goal what we have in both the films, but in a very different way, contrasting way. It's a very interesting movie which is set in an era where India got independence in 1947, and till 1961 a state of India, which is called Goa, was under Portuguese rule. So the story is set in that era where it was kind of a very curious time for all of us to see how people lived there, and we call it Toxic, a fairy tale for grown-ups. So we're dealing with certain. It's a gangster film. It's a
See, I saw the poster and there's a machine gun. I'm like, this is a way.
yeah, yeah, Tommy. Yeah, so it's a gangster film with a different take, because it's a female
That's what makes me excited when he says that. It's a gangster film, but a different take. What does that different take mean?
director. Geetu Mohandas is the director of the film. She always says this movie is a gangster film with a female gaze, and I totally
Okay.
believe it makes a
Okay.
lot of difference, because this is a large-scale action film with great performers. A lot of great actresses have come together for this film, and each and every character is significant in the film. What happens in an action movies, we generally tend to go behind one character and just have a single approach towards action, but this movie has so much of layering, so much of nuance. It's mostly about moral conflicts what we have in society today, and dilemmas in our daily lives. So there is a lot of psychology behind it, but set in a very typical large scale action gangster genre.
I'm looking forward to
Okay.
seeing it. I'm going to stop there because I'm out of time. And I'm just going to say, I really cannot wait to see what you're working on right now and the epic scope of these two films.
Thank you so much.
You could tell that he was tired. I think it was one of the last interviews he did, and he could tell from his body language that he's been 2-3 days. He's drained out, and these are the last ones. I think this came out also very recently. It came out very last only, so they also took their time to put it out. So I guess because everyone's putting out the interviews, so you don't want to get more jumbled up in all that, and that's why they delayed this. Putting out the interview. It was really good hearing from him. Good questions again by Kulaida. I like the guy. He'll ask good questions, and this kind of completes the trajectory of first he took Ranbir Kapoor, then Amit Malhotra's, the directors, and now Yash is also. So kind of completed his set of everyone, at least who were gonna do interviews before the film comes out. But yeah, very very excited. Toxic delay. Let's see what they do with it when it will come out. Just a few weeks delay, or it's gonna be months delay, or next year is gonna come out. Let's see. No idea what's happening there, but fingers crossed. Ramayana till now on track. Let's hopefully no changes there also. So a lot to look out for in the next half of the year. Very very excited. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you next time.